Good evening, damas y caballeros. That's sorry, you pressed the SAP channel. We are the Pride Rules Vidcast Midcast, brought to you as always by the fine folks at 80K Fightwear, blackholejiujitsu.net. Find my black hole brethren out there and www.madamajj.com and check out some amazing East Coast Jiu-Jitsu at either one of those sites. Shout out to the powerful Josh Madama. And as always, the 2 Minute Warning crew, a 2 Minute Warning Sports. Find us on Facebook. Find us anywhere. We're social. We're mobile. We are where you are. Now, we have a special guest to start off the festivities today. We're joined by the Reverend Tommy D. Reverend, how are you today?
Good evening, brothers and sisters. In the name of Randy Couture, Chuck Liddell, and Henzo Gracie. Special eulogy planned tonight. So let us begin. Brothers and sisters of Pride Rules MMA, we are here to bury the career of one John Jones. John Jones was once the pride of Endicott, New York, but now he's become the skid mark of the UFC. You're killing me, Omar.
I ain't saying a word, Reverend. I'm being respectful.
You're killing me, sir. John's career is leaving behind such a great legacy. The youngest champion of the UFC, and owner of the worst cocaine-fueled dance you've ever seen in your entire life.
Preach.
As we lower Brother John's career into the bowels of the earth, I ask you all to have a moment of silence for our fallen Brother John. And that was enough of that.
The bowels of the earth, dude. You got me with.
You were killing me, dude.
I wasn't saying anything.
You didn't have to say anything.
You didn't have to look at
you were
my
having
little
a fucking
square.
seizure in the background.
I tried.
You look like Michael J. Fox getting tickled, for Christ's sake.
Dude, I felt like it. Dude, I felt like I was getting choked. I felt like somebody was sinking something in. I couldn't get it together.
Fuck you, John Jones. Yeah, fuck you and fuck your retarded fans. You're a piece of shit.
What sample is this now? Are we on sample 45? Like what?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, fuck.
Jesus.
Guy's got more samples than a fucking rape kit.
He's got more samples than P. Diddy, for fuck's sake, right now. All right? That's fucking samples out the ass. The remix is still dirty. You feel me? There's no clean version. There's no Walmart version of this story that you can pitch to anybody with half a brain. And you know what? If you're still on the defend John Jones track, let me fill you in on something. All right? You're fucking retarded. I hate to use the word, but it's appropriate in this sentence. You're a Momo. Okay, let's use the Momo sentence here. Really, there's no way that you can try to tell me. And now, you know what, Tommy? You've been the one preaching this for quite a bit. There's points in his career where you got to go back and look and go, hey, was he on the sauce from way back in the day? What do you think?
You know, I do, man. You know, his first couple fights in, like I've said, I mean, he was good. After the Matt Hamill fight, he just looked completely and utterly unstoppable. Now, you know, there's a lot of factors that you can throw in there. Yeah, he's tall as shit. You know, he's got a ton of skills, and he's training at probably one of the best camps in MMA.
Yeah.
You know, the way that he just decimates people kind of makes you wonder. After his recent suspension for lifting, kind of makes you wonder.
Yeah, like that. He got it. You know, it's one of those weird things. Like, where was? I mean, I was gonna say something fucked up, but I will anyway. Where was his mama? Oh wait, his mama's not there. Like, he got in with a bad crowd. You know, if there's anything you don't want to do, like aside from okay, you already got popped for cocaine use, so put Rick James and co. outside and go, hey, listen, I gotta focus. Don't take up with power lifters, because unless it's explicitly natural, like, you know, that sport is just, it's par for the course. And I'm not mad at it. I'm not, I'm not saying anything with a normative sense or being moral or whatever. There's just a lot of roids in the sport of lifting. There just is. Fuck.
And you know, like Chris had said, and we've said, if he got busted doing this now, you know, he had to have done it before, or else he wouldn't have tried it.
No, you don't try it like as you're a champion. Oh, this is my first championship defense, or I got the belt. Now I'm going to try steroids. No, you don't suddenly flip the script and try something, you know, what didn't get you to the dance, right? More than likely what got him to the dance was a mix of, and this is what I hate, because the only like infinitesimal point that I'll defend him on is he had skill to begin with. He was at a great fight camp. Still is, you know, whatever. He came from that great fight camp. It could have been a marvelous career, the likes of which we had never seen.
And even if he lost the belt after, you know, his 5th or 6th title defense, so what? It would have been real.
It would have been a run for the ages, bro.
Yeah, but his whole career now, you can't look at as real. You can't. Not when you're busted twice in a row.
Not when you're busted twice in a row. And like what you said, dude, like I looked back. I went back and rewatched this, all right? I bought Fight Pass. And I went back and rewatched it. And I was just like, yo, there's a point at which it's like a J-shaped curve. He goes from, okay, he's young, he's a prospect, he's putting in work, and some of the guys that he was facing early in the UFC were Scribinis. Then he starts doing things to legit competition where you're like, holy crap. And then the legend of John Jones starts to be written, right? And it's just like, hold on a second. Did he just put the pieces of the puzzle together? Or, yeah, we don't know what's going to be what. It's forever done.
Yeah, and for you fucking schmucks, and I'm going to say it, you're fucking idiots that are sitting here defending him and trying to say it's a UFC conspiracy. A conspiracy, really. So let's fucking dissect that for a minute. The UFC's top earner just earned money outside of the organization. Ronda Rousey was another one. She's gone. The only other person who was making money, and it might not have been Ronda money or Conor money, but it was John Jones. People were excited to see John Jones. So why would the UFC hire and have a fucking coup d'etat against John fucking Jones, who makes them money? You people are fucking retarded.
The only Jones that knows how that would possibly make sense would be Alex fucking Jones, in terms of how something that convoluted would potentially make sense, because this would be suicide for the UFC. They're shooting themselves in the goddamn ballsack. There's no point for them to. And you know what? I bust your chops about being racist. It's a shtick. All right, you're one of the least racist people I know. You're not racist at all. Let's, full disclosure. We know this. I bust your balls. You bust my balls. We're bros. It's great. I consider myself, pretty woke, as the kids like to say. I'll even give things the benefit of the doubt. I'll look at okay, wait, maybe, the way I'm looking at something, maybe my Hispanic lenses doesn't let me look at it through like a black person's lenses, right? I'll try. I'll give it there's no fucking possible way that I try to look at this angle from what you were telling me, what you were embroiled in last night, that him as the Colin Kaepernick of the UFC makes
Well,
any
yeah,
conceivable fucking sense.
it was fucking hysterical. And
Was it a
when you
troll
ask,
job? Was it a troll job,
I
Tommy?
don't
Like,
know. I think it was somebody who was trying to make himself look good in the eyes of the African American, but they turn around and look at him like, dude, that there, you know how many African Americans were on that saying, bro, are you a fucking retard?
yo, the black congregation don't even want him. You feel me? Like in the the race trade, right? Okay, they're trying to trade him. They want Tiger Woods back for fuck's sake. Like they're looking at a 3-way trade, and Tiger Woods ain't doing
Yeah,
that great.
but his comparison, he's in. Oh, John Jones is an outspoken black athlete. He's
No, he's not.
outspoken. What the fuck is he outspoken about? He
He's
isn't outspoken about anything.
no. The only thing he's outspoken about is yo, let me party.
Yeah,
Right. That's about
you
it.
know. And then you have, and this is my favorite. This is my absolute favorite. This guy, I thoroughly enjoyed making look stupid, and I didn't even have to call him any names. Nothing. I just made him look stupid enough to the point where he left the group.
Good. Good.
Here's the statement. Well, steroids don't give you the skills to be a good fighter. It doesn't help you in the cage.
Hold on.
I had to sit back and
Did you
how
have
I
a
wanted to. I
Did
had
you
to
have
think
a
about how I
seizure?
wanted
A
to say
seizure
this.
when he said that? Like, because I
I had
would.
to think about how I wanted to say this to make him feel stupid.
Good.
Myself look bad by calling him every name that I wanted to fucking call him. My exact response was, so, steroids help you in your recovery and help give you strength. Well, okay. So the guy that he's fighting on fight night doesn't have the strength and the recovery that John Jones has because he's taking steroids. Is it not an advantage in the cage? Get out of it. There's still a strength advantage. If it comes down to the 5th round and the other fighter is gassed, still has just enough because he had that extra boost.
Mm-hmm.
That's called an advantage.
Absolutely.
They'll teach you how to hit a baseball, but they'll make you hit that ball fucking 500 goddamn feet.
And not for nothing, but what's always, that's the one that catches the eye, right? Like let's stay with the baseball analogy for a second, because I think it's a very prescient one, because it's one of those that like really blew the lid open on steroid use in the modern sports era and in the big sports for the U.S. because it's been in the Olympics forever and it'll continue to be in the Olympics forever. For fuck's sake, Russia nearly got completely disqualified from just participating, but
not to cut you off, but people are still liking that comment that I was just explaining to you about. Because my phone's going nuts right now.
It absolutely it's absolutely and you let them off easy, because to go back with the baseball analogy, we see the strength with the home runs, right? That's the strength boost that definitely translates to a fighting context. But you and I both know that what a lot of people were starting to say, and even Canseco, which, he looked like the golden snitch till the golden snitch came around, is who uses steroids more, even pitchers, to recover. And what does that allow them to do?
Be more productive. Andy Pettit's a perfect example of that. 100%. And he came out and said it when he after he had surgery in Houston. 1,000%. He wanted to speed up.
And does that not translate into like now we get into the fighting realm where if you're able to recover, you can roll hard, drill, train hard one night, right? And how I'm out of shape. I still feel shitty the next day. When I get into shape, when I'm rolling, I still feel shitty. If you could give me something where, okay, I didn't feel that way, and then my livelihood depended on being able to chain multiple days like that together so I can sharpen the tools that I'm going to use to win this match that's going to make me money to feed my children, you don't think that's an advantage? Put the puzzle pieces together, guys.
Well, perfect example. I forget what podcast it was on. I don't know if it was Chael. It might have been Chael, or I'm thinking it was Chael.
Probably
right
PEDs.
Well, no, but it was right before Dan Henderson and John Jones were going to do the the jiu-jitsu match, the super fight. It was right before that, and it was actually it was before the Bisping fight. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Because Dan was asked, like, now that you're not allowed to take the TRT, because he was on testosterone therapy,
medically clear.
He wasn't over abusing it.
No.
And they asked him, what's the difference now that you're not on it? He said, well, I'm not young anymore. After hard training, it's very hard for me to recover without it now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an advantage in every aspect of the fucking sport.
100%.
It's an advantage everywhere.
100%. Keeps you from getting injured. It helps you recover from injuries. It lets you push harder. So you're putting in 5-6 days a week, maybe 2 a days, and you how much sharper you get. You and I both know. If you chain rolling sessions together like that and you're able to sustain it,
it's brutal.
It's brutal. But if you're able to do it and it doesn't kill you, how much are you going to progress in a shorter amount of time?
And like, you think of it this way, like for you and I, we might be able to do that. And, we're going to be sore, but we're not going to be like, I can't get out of fucking bed sore.
Mm-hmm.
These fighters have to train. Yeah. How many rounds did they do in sparring? How many rounds did they do in rolling? You can't fucking move.
Yeah, conditioning on top of that, running, road work. They're eating like, really, really strict. So maybe it's helping them, but maybe they feel mentally shitty. Maybe they're in the pool. Maybe they're doing some fucking weird stuff. It's a grind and a half that we can't even begin to approximate. And if I'm potentially sitting here thinking, you know what, I could use a little TRT, maybe then I could, be on the mats 5-6 days a week instead of 3 to 4. Imagine the temptation for them. Where it's putting, that's a hobby and it's a love of mine. That's putting food on their table. And you're going to tell me that's not an advantage, that doesn't factor in? That's insane to me right now.
Advantage. And now look at the other idiot. Gets another chance. Jesse Taylor, after making himself look like a fucking moron on The Ultimate Fighter the first time. Busting out, what would he bust out the limo window and screaming, I'm a UFC fighter and shit like that?
Now I think it was probably roids,
Well, that's you made my point. Dana White gives him a second. Dana White gives him a second shot. He comes on the Ultimate Fighter Redemption show. Now, I highly doubt he was taking anything there.
Exactly.
Aren't going to be able to do anything there. So the guy once again has skills.
Yeah.
But now he had a fight with Bilal Muhammad in November, and he pops hot.
Would have been a showcase fight for him too. I think it was a winnable fight. It would have carried his narrative. It would have at least gotten
the clock's ticking on him, dude. He's another one. The clock's ticking on him.
It's a little older. Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's no, it's like if like say for example if Hector Lombard got popped again right now, heaven forbid, because he's on the fight card coming up that we're gonna break down in a little bit. But imagine if he got hit right now at his stage of the game. Or let's bring it back. Lyoto Machida. What the hell is he going to do when he comes back, if he comes back? It's at a stage of his career where it's like the time is running out. Or
and
what if a John Barnett got hit?
And his was absolute bullshit, Machida's.
One of the first ones, though.
He turned his stuff in. He never pissed hot. He never popped at all. But because he turned the stuff in.
Yes, that's right. Jesus Christ, you're absolutely right. Like he was trying to be above board with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's two.
Incentivizes you not to do it almost, right? Call me the devil, but if I'm damned if I do, if I'm damned if I don't, I'm getting on the dark web and trying to contact some Russian scientists and be like, listen.
I mean, it's unbelievable. So that's two people. Jesse's not on the level that John Jones is, but the guy just won the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah. What do they need? What are we talking about all the time? They need stars. You could have ridden that redemption story out to some paydays for everybody involved.
Nobody cares about a second time redemption. Like after that, you've burned your bridge.
Which brings us right back to John Jones in terms of burning your bridge a second time.
Oh, he incinerated that. Incinerated.
He's hitting it with napalm.
I don't care. much money he makes the company, you can't bring him back.
No. And the rumor's like 4 years too, is what I heard. I don't know if you heard differently.
It's 3. They're thinking 3, maybe 4.
Yeah.
I mean, it's back to back. They haven't had to deal with that yet.
That's a lot, dude. That's just I mean,
his career's over. He's 30.
He's the Jose Canseco of our sport. Except we're not having congressional hearings and he's getting it done during his career.
His career's over. That's it.
There's no way. He comes back at 34 and now that we know that a lot of his physical prowess was not natural, Reverend Tommy gifted talent. It was, chemically assisted. He's going to come back a shell of himself. There's no way he's going to sustain that.
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
Become a super heavyweight in Ryzen. Like, you keep saying it. And what I don't understand is, on that little tangent, why the hell aren't people jumping on that bandwagon that you're letting them, you're prognosticating? People are like, oh, they're not going to pay him enough. Who else is going to pay him right now? He's a toxic asset. And as many investors know, you pick it up when it's on a downturn. And B, you're very spot on with, they're going to make him a lot of money. John Jones is still crazy, but in Japan, he would sell like hotcakes. He would. I mean, at the expense of being a little racial, he's a black dude in Japan. We all know that they make a lot more money than you would think. And, if Bob Sapp can make a career out of being a pseudo fighting entity in Japan, you goddamn well know that John Jones would make a killing and he would draw. He could fill a Saitama Super Arena. Him and some Gracies and some Japanese people.
Hey, not to cut you off, but on one of the threads here, Stephen Fogmeg, who's a 2-minute warning
brother.
Mm-hmm. He just said, remember what Jones got popped for? Turnaball, which is predominantly used to help with weight cutting process if used by itself. So it makes me wonder if he was not going to make the weight. And in order not to lose strength while cutting so much, he used this. It's a good thought. It really is. But here's the problem. I know John Jones is nutritionist. He's the best nutritionist in the business. 100 times better than that fake Mike Dolce.
Yeah.
This guy actually knows what he's doing. So John's weight was never going to be a problem. His weight was never a problem before.
Amateur fighter Ace Hills is with Lou. And he was making weight.
I didn't want to drop the man's name.
No, I'm just no, because this is good because the nutrition. I fully do not think that the one hand knew what the other was doing, because Lou does it the natural way. He does it the scientific way. He gets Ace down to weight, and Ace was saying that his cut was great. It was unfortunate what happened. Mother Nature intervened with the fight and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Crazy,
fucking Irma.
I swear to tell me about it. But he was fine. He was doing okay with the weight cut. He said it was the best cut he's ever had. And he was even thinking of being a champ. So he's thinking of cutting 2 weight classes, for fuck's sake. He was fine. Yet you're gonna tell me. And to counter that point too, I think we both listen to this podcast. You use this as part of a stack.
Mm-hmm.
You use it as part of, some nitro boost chemistry that you're gonna use in combination with other stuff. If it's the 8th best, there's maybe 10 best, right? That was the quote, and you use it as a blend of some other fuckery. So I don't think the weight cut really was an issue. I mean, he looked swole as shit. I'll give Steven that, but I don't think it was a cutting, man.
No, it's just it's hard. It really is, because I wanted to like John Jones.
Me too.
I don't have Chris's stance on it. But you know what? Even to bring that up, isn't it hilarious how for hating Conor McGregor that he says for absolutely no reason, but he hated John Jones for absolutely no reason before he was getting popped for steroids and blowing lines of cocaine off of a bucktooth hooker's asshole.
We're all fans, man. At the end of the day, fans don't need to really have. We can debate them, but deep down inside, like you can just hate a guy for hating him. Like, it's fine.
But yeah, I wanted to like him. I wanted to believe he wouldn't be stupid enough to fuck up again. Basically, a 2-year layoff, and he made an asshole out of everybody. So fuck him.
I was on the train where I wanted to believe him because you know what? I want to witness greatness. I'm a fan of the sport.
Well, you know what? There is greatness now, and it's Demetrius Johnson. That's the only greatness that's left.
And I think he's pretty clean and healthy. I'm gonna go.
He's
out
100% clean. I don't get the hate for it's a 125-pound weight division. Well, what do you want the guy to do? It's inside his goddamn division.
Activate genes to naturally grow, right, and become a larger human being. Like honestly, barring that, the fuck are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, there's a 125-pound weight class for a reason, and he's the king of it.
You know,
he's the king of it. Get more of these 125-pound soccer players to come fucking, be in the UFC or something. Here's an idea. Have him fight Ray Borg and
a Rottweiler.
Give me another fucking 125er that he can fight. He can fight them both at the same time.
Ian McCall. I think he would fuck up Ian McCall and
we'll take it back to the Gladiator days to make you simple-minded fucking retard fans who don't like Demetrius Johnson. We'll gear it for you. That's in the UFC right now because that's who's going to break the all-time fucking record.
And he's a star like in and out of the cage too. Dude's smart as a whip, family man. You don't catch him, cruising Sunset Boulevard looking for trannies with Eddie Murphy. Like it's spot on. He appeals to a bunch of niche demographics. Like if I was looking at him from a marketing perspective, I'm like, okay, how are we going to pitch the fighting world and get it to merge with like the nerd gaming world, right? Quote unquote. Wouldn't that be tremendous? The bridge that this dude could build between both communities would be phenomenal. And he's the ticket, but they're misusing him like fucking assholes. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either, man. It's funny with him where when he was fighting at 135, training serious.
Yeah.
Like he does now. And that's what his coach was just like, look, man, if you're going to do this, you need to be all in. After they had that conversation, he went on a streak and never lost again.
And you know what? We're witnessing something. It's almost like we're not going to realize what we have till it's gone, right? Until it passes, he breaks the record. Everybody's going to be like, yeah, whatever. And then down the road, you're going to see, I think that record is going to be super difficult to break unless, honestly, like you have one of these female fighters with like an emerging female talent pool.
They don't fight enough.
They don't fight enough.
Female fighters don't fight enough.
But there's still the possibility that it could happen in one of those things. What gets me is that this is like a fully realized, we both agree the men's game is a little more developed than the women's game. It's just that's how it is because of numbers, who participates more. That's just how it goes. So now we're seeing a fully realized men's game, and Mighty Mouse is still dominating it. All right, we're not quite in the Hoist Gracie times of in female MMA. But it's a little more kind of a couple years behind, I would say. And this is not a knock. I find it fully exciting and riveting. I love watching Cyborg knock somebody out as much as the next guy.
Well, bro, look at it this way. MMA is still in the infancy stage, right?
It really is. It really is.
Female fighting is like the embryo stage.
Yeah, it's. I want to say it's maybe like when the male game was like 5 years old. I think we're starting to see like at that level, or you know what? In a weird way, see if you call me crazy, but we're seeing like a Cyborg, and all jokes aside, she reminds me of like a Chuck Liddell, where like she's really good. And she's murking people, but I want to say in like 5 years, 10 years, we're going to see like a female GSP in terms of, really merging bunch of different arts and being nasty.
Well, they thought they found that with Ronda and it didn't happen.
Yo.
But now you have Joanna.
Yeah.
There's another one.
Yo, I want to put steel plates in her hands though. Like she needs to stop breaking them shits and fucking please. Cause I want to just see her fight, 10 times a year. Fucking have her fight twice a month and then, once for the last couple months. But I think we're looking at him, and the way people talk about like Sugar Ray Robinson or Jack Johnson, or some of the greats in boxing, back in the day, greats in boxing. We're gonna look back and go, wow, DJ was sorely underappreciated, because he'll break the record. If it's not now, it won't be with Ray Borg, because I hope Ray Borg doesn't get another fucking money fight where he can pull out ever again. I'm sorry.
I think they're set. No, it's already set up for UFC 216.
Jesus Christ. What? So what? He just had a virus and they're going to, well, whatever. He's going to get a shit kicked in. Fuck it. Let him be, the answer to the Jeopardy question down the road. Right.
But here's what I don't understand why people don't like Dimitri. I mean, he's great on the feet.
Tremendous.
He's excellent on the ground.
Tremendous.
He is a complete mixed martial artist. Yeah. People are gonna bitch because he didn't want to fight TJ. That's a trap fight for him.
There's no plus. There's no plus. The only thing that I think you can get pissed at him for, and he's toned down the rhetoric on this. He started to be more of like a I don't give a fuck sort of thing in terms of the popularity. Is the only thing you can get on him for is if he really was all about the popularity, he would have fought Dillashaw. But if that's not his main aim right now, then that's fine. And he's smart. He backed off of the hey, you know what, this, that, and no. He stopped defending it. He was like, fuck it, this is just what I want to do. I'm not talking about that Dillashaw fight.
Well, bro, you got to – this is how it's a trap for him, okay? Let's just say Dillashaw came in 2 pounds over.
Yeah.
And they agreed to fight. Well, now the belt's taken off. Glorified exhibition.
Yeah. And then you're talking about like Henan Barao levels of fight streak instead of like title defenses in a row. And that's a big difference. Huge.
He wants to clean out his division. This one more fight, he cleans out the division, and then you can have the fights between him and TJ, or even do him and the winner of TJ and Cody. If you want to go crazy, he already broke the record.
I pay to see that.
Nobody is going to touch that record in the UFC. No. It's not going to happen.
No, you're right.
Stay around too long. You know what I mean? It's very hard to hold on to that heavyweight belt for a long period of time, just because one punch can end the entire night for you. Middleweight, everything's up in the air. If GSP holds on to that belt, I see him beating Whitaker. I do see him beating most of the guys up at the top, 100%. Welterweight's just who the fuck knows.
It's a mess.
Because Tyron's got he's trying to not have surgery on his shoulder. So if he's going to do it the holistic way, that means we're not going to see him for a while.
Yeah, I don't.
So
fucking have the
just so you guys know, ladies and gentlemen, you're probably going to see an interim belt for fucking welterweight sometime in 2018.
100%. First 6 months of 2018. If Tyron's still fucking around with that, Mama Juju stuff.
I mean, I give him credit for not wanting to have surgery. I understand that, but you have a belt. But you know what? If Conor doesn't have to defend it, why the hell should he?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But this is where it's all at now. Like
Tyson Woodley has to get up and punch in every morning, and Conor doesn't. No, I get your point, bro. Like,
you know what I mean? So it's like they let the inmates run the asylum,
which would be fine if it was making everybody money and it was elevating the sport. Like, I'm one of those, ask anybody that's worked with me, for me, whatever. I don't give a shit about titles. I don't, I'm your boss. I'm this, I'm that. I don't care. If the work gets done and things work well, have at it, right? Inmates can run the asylum for as far as I'm concerned. And in a business, that's fine. Shareholders, like we were mentioning on Monday, would be okay with the inmates running the asylum, but they're chasing their tails at this point. There's no forward progress for this company and this sport. So with that, I'm with you on that. Where the fuck are we going with all this?
It's just all up in the air. It's ridiculous.
And if it's up in the air for us, how is the casual fan, the fan that you're gonna, that you can base growth on? Because they're gonna get our cash regardless, right? We're the foundation. We're the guys that were in the MMA underground. Like, yes, I love this fighting, or Joe Rogan's legit, whatever, right? The growth of the sport is going to be predicated on getting those fringe fans and bringing them more towards the center. Be like, okay, I'm going to order, 2, 3, 4 pay-per-views a year, as opposed to none. and then generating that sort of revenue and continuously growing the fan base. How the fuck are you going to get these guys going if we can't figure out what the hell's going on in the division? Right? Hold on. He's a champion, but he's a champion, and it's the same weight class. Hold on a second. You feel me? What the fuck are we going to do?
So wait a minute. He won an interim belt, which means they have to unify the belt, but the champion is fighting somebody else. So what does the interim belt actually mean? Yeah. Like it's just a conjumbled mess.
It's a tournament at that point, isn't it? Like, isn't it basically just a multi-night tournament at that point? But not run well.
But look at how long it took for Damian Maia to get a shot at Tyron Woodley. Okay, we all knew it wasn't going to be an exciting fight.
For sure.
You know, anybody who knows the sport knows it wasn't going to be an exciting fight.
Even if he won, it was going to be a boring fight.
But it was like 2 years too late.
Oh Christ, it was.
It was 2 years too late. He was finishing everybody up until that point.
Mm-hmm. And Damian Maia is not a young dude.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And he's clean, according to all the tests. So, and you're going to tell me that PEDs wouldn't have given him an advantage? Imagine the savage that Damian Maia would be if he was able to juice the test.
Remember how Eddie said that if there was no ref in there, Damian Maia would have like 15 murder charges?
And he's absolutely correct. Yeah, he'd have fucking 75 with PEDs.
Exactly. If there was a ref in there and him with PEDs, he's knee barring his opponent and probably ripping the ref's balls off for trying to get him off.
No, he's gonna armbar the fucking first row is what he's gonna do. He's just gonna be like, I'm still pissed. I wanna work my Kimuras now. Shit, he'd be ripping elbows and shoulders off. He'd be like KFC for grapplers. He'd be like, yo, I want to win.
Steve just said this is all turning into boxing. If every fight is a championship fight, it's a money draw. I mean, you're 100% right.
Yeah, I have to like this. I'm gonna take a second and get on the social because the man's 100% correct. Steven knows his shit, and he's got his own objectively biased.
Yep.
That he works through, and I love it. You know, he's a smart guy. He's a smart guy covering like all sorts of sports and whatnot. The dude knows his stuff. So big ups to Steve, and we appreciate the love. And he's correct though.
Yeah,
WME is just sitting here going, everybody gets a belt. We've made fun of it. It's the Oprah of championship belts. But they, because I think they don't know what they have on their hands. They haven't been in the fight game in any capacity, right? Dana's taking a backseat. He's getting paid, so he don't give a fuck. The Fertitas left, which was the only other knowledgeable head brass, I think. Joe Silva left, which is one of the most knowledgeable, one of the most despised men I learned in the UFC, but one of the most knowledgeable people that they had at the Brain Trust. They've let a lot of people go.
Right, Bert is in CFFC.
Jesus Christ. I mean, and Stitch Duran, maybe not in terms of the planning stages, but yeah, we can expand it to, holy shit, just this knowledge base.
Well, he was the best cut man in the business.
And he could extend, he was responsible for extending fights and probably indirectly responsible for getting us some of the most tremendous, ending rounds. Give me one more round. That's him.
Every champ had Stitch. They were
because
giving
they knew
Stitch.
Because they knew that was it was like that endurance boost in a video game. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pop this potion, and it's natural. It's not a PED, and I'm able to fight one or two more rounds. Whereas this cut would have laid me out if some jabroni was trying to patch me up and get me out there. And what and he got fired for bullshit. So it's just like there's not a lot of guidance and leadership, and it's a fucking the price tag. It's a $4 billion company. On top of all that, to compound all the shenanigans, you got everybody popping for steroids now. Like holy shit, man!
Yeah, it's just losing money. It's hemorrhaging money.
I really think it is. We can't. This is all conjecture, and I got called out for supposing stuff on the internet today. It was funny, but. If it's not losing money, like outright losing cash, I think it's maybe getting cash, but not nearly what they dropped $4 billion on it for.
Well, maybe Artie's making money, and
Dana's covering enough.
Dana's sitting with $500 million in the bank, but
I don't think it's growing.
No, not at all.
I don't think it's growing.
They're not even close to scratching the surface of that
are we in
4.2
Russia?
billion.
Are we in Japan consistently? Are we in Russia? Where are we in South America outside of Brazil? You know,
Let's put
how's
it
our
this way:
European cousins doing?
they've done more fights in Ireland in Japan.
That's insane to me. The birthplace of the fucking modern martial arts, where where our namesake rocked the house, where the attendance records for fights as well as pro wrestling, the live gates, attendance numbers wise, have been set. And you're telling me that you don't want to fucking go? You can't sell MMA to that crowd, right? You're fucking up. Like remember the line in The Departed? Hey, this is America. If you can't make money, you're a douchebag. Hey, it's Japan. If you can't sell fighting over there, all right, you're doing something wrong.
I really think the last time they were in Japan was when Rampage fought Bader, when Rampage came out to the Pride music. I seriously think that was the last time they were in Japan.
I could see it. You know, if you know what's okay. The litmus test for this is this right here. If I may be so bold, if we can't really pinpoint when the last time they were in Japan, then two things are going wrong. A, they're not getting blockbuster fucking events over in Japan. And B, they're not going there enough. If you and I can't be like, yes, it was this time and it was this amazing fight and holy shit, you know what? They trotted out Rampage.
Like here's one for you. Could you imagine if they went to Japan and had Chris Weidman's first light heavyweight fight against Shogun in Japan, and Henzo comes out with Matt with corner, and then Shogun comes out? I mean, the Japanese people would lose their fucking minds.
They lose their minds because you know what? They actually have a memory as fans, as opposed to United States fans that they can't remember past last week or last month. They'll be like, "Holy shit, I know who that is! Holy shit, I know who that is!" But are they going to do it? Fuck if I don't know. They're going to run another UFC Netherlands card. Right,
yeah, I'm getting sick of those too.
Delay.
I'm getting sick of those like 3:00 in the afternoon, Fight Pass cards. Because I'm sorry, like
who gives a shit about Fight Pass? Like, let's be honest. I love it, but come on.
I have a job. I have a life. I have a job.
Children. You have a family.
I don't want to be walking around my phone watching a live fight at 3:00 in the afternoon of fighters I don't even really know who they are.
Bro, I'm an MMA fiend. So are you, and I won't even really cop to trying to do that. I really won't. You know what? And the best you can give me, the carrot on the stick that you're gonna give me, is Stefan goddamn Struve. Really?
I can't remember the last time he was relevant.
The last time he was relevant, I think I was talking to my sister, a learned doctor, about his heart condition. That's the last time he was relevant to my conversation about anything. And my sister, in not so uncertain terms, she would never swear, but she basically said he shouldn't be fucking fighting. That's dangerous. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Can't he do like Dutch commentating? Can't he be the Dutch Dan Hardy? Like,
I mean, I forgot that he was even still fighting.
Yeah, and he's been, and
put it that way.
And there you go. Put a bow on this portion of the show because that was perfect. If you forgot he was fighting, it's the same as we can't pinpoint when the fuck they were in Japan. It's terrible, and it's a misuse of the brand. It's a misuse of why they bought Pride. I know they bought Pride to kill it, but for fuck's sake, man, why can't you? It's such fertile ground. It's a waste. And you want to talk about expansion? Why the fuck are we in China? Right? Look, come on.
In China.
Yeah, and then they got laughed out of there. And I still think, the Red Army has warrants out for most of the UFC brass for some reason or other.
Jesus it's the gambling, wasn't it?
Was it the gambling? Was it Macau? Or was it something just something super shade balls?
I think they were trying. It was they thought that the fights were being fixed.
100%. And and you know what? We have one official report. I don't know if it was from that event, but there's that one official report where that dude is on charges for doing just that. So nothing's out of the realm of possibility. With enough money involved, all right, presidents get shot. So don't fucking talk to me about
You know what it is?
fights.
I think these guys sat down and watched like 8 Men Out and learned how to fucking fix a fight like they fixed the World Series.
Had a handicap. Yo, you know that, hey, everybody's shoeless in the cage, all right? So money can talk, let me tell you.
Hey, Shoeless Joe finished out the rest of his career in Hoboken, New Jersey. Did you know that?
Did he put shoes on? Did he have enough money to buy shoes at that point? So, speaking of fights and fighting, let's bring it in. There is a card this weekend, bro. There's two cards this weekend. Which one do you give more of a shit about, though? Let me ask you your honest opinion. Which one do you really care to see?
I want to see David Branch pecker slap Luke Rockhold like nasty.
Like Miss Janet Jackson nasty, like Mr. Branch.
Yeah.
If you're nasty, I like it. We'll start with that one, and we'll bring it out. We'll bring the boxing card out at the end. So Rockhold Branch. We'll start with the main event.
Let me say this. Let me say this right now. Do you know why I'm more interested? Like, I don't want to say more interested, but like kind of more interested in the Luke Rockhold David Branch fight.
Demi Lovato.
No, because there's actually other fights on that card that I want to see.
For sure.
Triple G and Canelo, it's just that one fight.
That's it.
I don't care about the undercard in boxing on these big shows. It's just like nobody really gives a shit. It's like, all right, let's throw this guy out there. Yeah, you might get some cool shit, but most of the time you don't.
Eddie Murphy's
just
nephew.
Like
might be on that
side. You know, so this is why I'm more interested in watching the Rockhold Branch fight.
You get more bang for your buck. I know it's free, but in terms of like the time you invest, I think you'll get more out of it. So with that being said, I think we know who you're pulling for, but tell me why you think Branch is going to dick slap my man Rockhold.
Well, you know, Branch's first foray into the UFC didn't really go too well. But, you know, he went back to the drawing board and just started going on a goddamn tear.
Mm-hmm.
And he was, a 2-division champ, defending 2-division champ, defending.
He put in work at both weights. He would take on all comers. He would cut. He would gain. You can't ask for more out of a fighter from an up and coming organization.
His jiu-jitsu is world class, obviously.
It's legit.
Obviously.
Well, of course, but like, holy shit, dude's a terror.
Not to mention, he didn't have the kind of fight that he wanted to have his first go around when he came back. So
what with Tarek? Was that Tarek Safadine?
Oh God, that fight.
That was right though. Like I'm remembering it correctly.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, where it was just. I mean, it was. Like
I don't think he's gonna face that sort of not unwilling, but like hesitant dance partner. I think
no.
He could have a great foil in with Luke Rockhold, which is exciting.
Just gonna come down to who makes the first mistake.
I hope it's Rockhold because you know what? I mean, go be a model, bro. Like, you can't have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. This fight game is way too ruthless for that. I don't think Branch is even, picking up the phone if Versace calls. I think he's just fully focused on the fight game. And Rockhold, he just strikes me as like that employee.
He's a dick.
Yeah, and
he's an arrogant dick.
Millionaire Matchmaker. I'll cop to watching that. And he was, I was telling one of my friends this. I was like, yo, this is the dude who's sitting on this show. This lady matches up millionaire, right? Like high net worth people, right? And she's trying to do it for this guy. And she's like, listen, Luke, you're not really focused. You're not really looking for a relationship. And I don't want to match you up with any of the people that I work with. And he's like, yeah, no, but it's not like that. It's not like that. Meanwhile, her receptionist walks in and he's like, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, that's Luke. In a nutshell, that's Luke Rockhold.
He's a douchebag.
He is. Yo, Demi Lovato dropped his ass. And Demi Lovato looks like, if I'm not mistaken, she would put up with a lot of bullshit for some good dick. So I'm just going to throw that out there. Not saying that I know about Rockhold, but I got to figure, he could probably dick him down in his day. Some of that cockiness has to come from somewhere. It just can't come from looks. He has to have a cannon to back up, the talking. I guess. I'm going to give him the benefit of that doubt. That being said, he's been talking about wanting races and not really doing much for them. he gave away the championship belt.
Yeah.
As a result of said douchiness. This dude completely and utterly, as much as I hate Bisping, all right, if I have middleweight gold or gold of any weight around my belt, anybody who steps across from me, I'm going to think that they're trying to kill my mom, and I'm going to fucking destroy him because I want to stay champion.
Him. Like he ran through him the first time.
Showcase then. You know, there's the worst possible scenario that you could have constructed for yourself in Luke Rockhold's shoes is exactly the one that Luke Rockhold laid out before him and fell into like a trap. He trapped himself. All right? As much as I'm not a fan of Bisping, God damn it, if like, you know, he seized the moment and he went for it. But
Bisping always comes to fight. Always comes to fight.
Don't you know that? As Rockhold, like, and if it's not Rockhold, isn't Crazy Bob Cook in here going, listen, don't fucking write this guy off. He's on 14 days, but you know what? He's crazy enough to say yes.
No, here's what happens. Those guys at AKA build each other up. Now, the difference between them all is Khabib is driven.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, he misses weight. But when that cage door locks, you're a fucking dead man.
Yeah.
He puts you on your back in a position that you can't do a goddamn thing about.
No.
Daniel Cormier, he's driven.
Yeah.
He has like 8 different jobs, still goes out there and gives 110%.
Good point. Really good point. Like, you know, he's not a model, but he's got other stuff just like Rockhold does outside of the cage. Yet my man still comes to play every day.
Rockhold goes to and takes pictures. Wow. This guy is on camera doing interviews, calling fights. He calls the pay-per-views with Joe Rogan and John Anik. Yeah. So this guy's got more jobs than any of them
than
put together.
Let's be serious. More jobs than Jamaican. You can say,
you know what I mean? He's got more jobs than any of them. Yet when that cage door closes, he's looking to fight and he's looking to win.
Compete well.
Rockhold is the type of guy that walks into that cage and looks up at the mega screen just to fucking look at himself.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
I'll bet you.
Lays on his back
I'll bet you when he jerks off to a picture of himself.
I could see that.
Guaranteed.
I could see that. Even with a dame like Demi Lovato, he's probably like, baby, you're blocking my light. Hold on. Let's move you so I can look myself in the mirror that's above my bed that I gaze at lovingly while I fall asleep. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
He's that guy.
I just want to see him. I love when he loses. I loved when he lost like when he was in Strikeforce. I hated him then.
Mm.
He reminds me of the type of dude like with his chest hair, like he would like shave a design in it. Just to be a funny guy.
I could see like a Dave Herman type like arrow situation.
Remember that?
Yeah, dude, I'll never forget it. Pee-wee was, I mean, as you and I as jiu-jitsu guys, we'll never forget him because of his fucking immortal quote, "Jiu-jitsu doesn't work." And then,
oh my God,
Minotauro Nogueira I almost said Minotauro Noriega, and after Tyson Woodley, I would have never lived that down. So thank God I took my alpha brain today. But Minotauro Nogueira fucking showed him that I think it does work. And speaking of which, I think that's going to be the big factor here. I think maybe on the feet, Branch does work or does enough work, but I think the leaps and bounds progression that we've seen of Branch 2.0 is in that jiu-jitsu, which you guys should be proud of. You guys are fucking savages, and you're crafting more animals every day, man. My hat's off to you. You know, you guys at the extended Henzo Gracie family. You're fucking nuts. Just straight up nuts.
It's a room of death. It's a room of death.
It really is. It really, dude, when you're producing 15-year-olds,
Nicky Ryan,
fucking
right?
place at ADCC. All right, that's literally like saying that a sophomore in high school could go and wrestle in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
That would be for people who don't know what ADCC is, it's the Olympics of submission grappling. So that's basically like saying, yeah, whoever's in school with my niece right now in 10th grade could walk off, take the uniform off and go fucking wrestle, Iranian savages for world championships. That's the same thing. And Nicky Ryan's doing. He placed 3rd, didn't he? Or like 4th?
Something like that, yeah.
As a child, something absurd. I just... let me put it more simple for the people that are watching right now.
Nicky Ryan is a 15-year-old that will beat the living fuck out of anybody you know, no matter what age they are. He will
100%.
submit them, make them pass out, and then sit there
100%.
and do his math homework as you're just waking up.
I'm telling
That's
you,
how
I'm
much of a
excited
badass
to see
this kid
who,
is.
as he grows, and like who match like he.
I'm excited to see if he goes into MMA as he grows.
I could see that. I mean, you know what's funny? Like the one Nicky Ryan story I have is it was a local tournament down in New York, and I was there. You know, we had our guys there, and he was 15-year-old. I think he was still a blue belt at that point, and purple belt adult. So he was outweighed. The age was a huge disparity, and theoretically, the skill level was different, right? And maybe first 30 seconds, he just almost tears off this man's leg. And you could tell this man was like, listen, I'm not letting a fucking young punk do nothing to me. Fucking, I'm a purple belt. This kid's not only a blue belt, he's a child. I'm going to be putting in some work here. And regardless of what could happen, Nicky was just like, yeah, I'm taking it. It's mine. You know what I mean? And that was just like, wow, wait a second. I'd love to see him in some super fights. I'd love to see him grapple. It's exciting.
So now picture that in a grown adult man.
In a man.
And that's David Branch.
Yeah.
With a tan.
With a slight tan. And I think he's motivated. It's like you said, it's a second go around, right? In the UFC, the second. And
second go around, but after that first fight that he had, where and even he said it was a boring fight.
It was terrible.
I mean, it was boring. That wasn't a David Branch fight.
It was a rough one to watch. And I watched the whole thing.
With this, yeah, because that was the Frankie Edgar fight when he decimated the Mexican sensation, Yair.
Yeah, where he put he just beat up the entire cartel in one foul swoop. Your man went anti-narcos on an entire subcontinent.
Yeah. So after that performance, Branch has something to prove. Luke Rockhold's going to come straight at him. He's going to try and overpower him, whatever they teach at AKA, and he's going to get outworked. And I think Branch is going to choke him out. I think Branch is going to take his back, and Luke is going to look for a way out, and he's going to get choked out.
I can see it. I like where you're going with it. So I think we're both in accordance there. I mean, it makes for not as exciting, back and forth banter, but I'm not going to just pick against you.
You know what I hope David Branch does? You know what I hope he does?
Messes his hair. Messes up.
I hope he grabs both of Rockhold's ears and just drives his knee right into the center of his fucking nose and just destroys his nose and ruins the modeling career. So maybe he can get back into actually being a fighter and not trying to be fucking Mark Wahlberg.
Or Alan Joban, right? Not trying to be Alan Joban because, Alan's the actual model type character, But so with that being said, that was super, super rough. I love it. With that being said, we have a couple other ones that I'm pretty excited. Like you said, the undercard here is pretty strong. Going down the line, we got ourselves Mike Perry and Thiago Alves.
Alves is out.
Oh shit! What?
Alves is out. Yeah, no. They found a replacement for him. I saw who it was earlier, but Alves is out, but not like anything bad. He refused to leave Florida when Irma hit.
That's right. And so he's stuck.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. That I did.
He didn't want to leave his wife and son. So I can't get mad at that.
No, not at all.
I can't get mad at that. But they found a replacement. They found a replacement for him. I forget the guy's name, but Mike Perry's
unless it's Ben Askren, I think I still got Mike Perry winning.
Yeah, Mike Perry's gonna win.
Yeah. Like this guy, he's I don't know why, but he reminds me of like a white Houston Alexander. If that makes any fucking
that's
sense.
Not good.
No, but that's
not good.
With maybe who can grapple better. But he has that air about him of like, yo, I'm pressed for time. I want to fucking just maul you. Let's get this over with. I'm out. As long as he doesn't run into a 170-pound Kimbo Slice, should be good.
Oh man, Kimbo dispatched of him.
Kevin Ferguson, rest in peace, my man.
That was on the Ultimate Fighter, the finale.
Yeah, it was.
2007.
And I'd never seen arthritic knees act so arthritic as when, rest in peace, Kevin Ferguson was trying to anti-grapple. And when you're having troubles grappling against Houston Alexander, your knees have seen better days. That's all I'm going to say. Mine aren't so
Well,
far
yeah, that
behind,
was
but
on that, and I'll never forget that because that was
God.
on that was on the Ultimate Fights DVD of 2007.
When they got tired, it was like two trees fighting. Okay.
Well, what's his name? I think that was on that same DVD was Frankie against Tyson Griffin.
That was
both undefeated fighters.
Remember when Tyson Griffin was nasty? Like, remember that?
I remember when Tyson Griffin tried to put a leg submission on Frankie, and Frankie sat there for the last 2 minutes and punching Tyson in those tree trunk thighs that he has.
Yeah, yeah, which is it's like tenderizing a steak, it's like hitting a bison in the side. For fuck's sake, those things are huge. Those things on a lady wouldn't look half bad. That's all I'm gonna say.
And you know, it's funny after that fight, Tyson Griffin really wasn't the force because they were putting all their eggs in that Tyson Griffin basket.
They were because he was this stocky, very very marketable sort of cat. He was a good foil for everybody at that weight class. He kind of quote unquote look the part, so he could really kind of come out and still get some eyeballs, some casual eyeballs. But fuck, man,
we spun that one off the rails fast. Sorry, everybody.
It's all good.
We love MMA. It all ties in.
It does. It absolutely does. But speaking of short, stocky, and with thighs that could probably crack walnuts, Hector Lombard versus, and I hope that nobody's off this. I feel like such a chooch being like Perry Alves. No, but Hector Lombard and Anthony Smith. Who do you got here and why? And how?
This one's tough.
It fucking, yeah.
I like Lombard. I do.
Yeah.
But I think Anthony Smith takes him.
Jesus. So we're saying officially the torch is whatever torch Lombard holds.
Mm-hmm.
He's putting it in a nice knapsack and handing it to Lionheart. So
I think he's gonna get caught. No performance enhancers allowed.
There's something to be said, bro. That Cuban Olympic program was heavily influenced by the Soviet Olympic program, which, as we discussed at the top of this show, has more chemistry than I think kinesthesiology. All right. And somebody might flame me for this, but there's more science of performance enhancers than there are fucking let's get good technique. Strong as fuck, but Jesus. So that being said,
I just think his better days are behind him.
He's old as shit, isn't he? Isn't he hit like he's getting to the wrong side of 40, or he's getting close?
Well, yeah, but you don't really know how old these Cuban guys are.
That's right. He could have that Dominican birth. Could very well be fucking.
You don't know how old these Cuban guys are. They come over here to play baseball. They say they're 18. They're really 43.
Yeah, because they want that guaranteed money. They want that guaranteed long-term contract. Yeah. Fuck, I would do the same thing. Fuck it. I'm gonna go play in Japan. I'm saying 26.
Yeah, I think he's just. I think this honestly might be the last time we see him in the octagon.
And we have to factor in too. I mean, this thing's a business. If he's not pulling his weight, and that contract that he came in with is probably for a lot higher ducat level than WME would feel comfortable with continuing to pay him if he keeps losing, right? Like, come on. I
think he might be better off going to Bellator.
What, and juicing as much as USADA will let him?
Or send him to Japan. I mean, he's still a name.
Oh, my sweet Lord. If he went to Japan, him and John Jones, I'd pay to see.
He's still a name. I mean, it's just he's not the UFC caliber name. If he had held a belt and defended it and stuff like that, I could see the UFC kind of keeping him around like they did with BJ.
Didn't he for a short time hold the he did though. I thought
he held a UFC belt?
No, not a UFC belt. I'm sorry. I think it was wasn't he a Bellator champion? If I'm not mistaken.
No, I'm talking about holding UFC gold.
Okay, I got you.
Even with even if he had a couple fight skids, they might keep him like they did with BJ. Like if he was a champ for a while and was making a name for himself and didn't get caught using PEDs, they might hang around and make him like a gatekeeper. But
and mind you, we're saying that a 27-12 Anthony Smith is going to do this to him. So we're really both on kind of he's on the back nine of his career. It's over. You know, it's time to pack it in, or it's time to become like some judo coach.
Yeah.
Cuba, which is, you know, there's no more embargo. So
what about you? What do you think?
I really don't see what Lombard does well anymore that anybody with half a good training camp can't prepare for. There's nothing that he's going to come at you with, even with like a, you know, I don't mean to downplay Anthony Smith, but holy shit, there's a reason why they're the fucking third, you know, fight down on an FS1 card, you know, and the only reason they're that high is because of Lombard's name. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have a semi-decent camp, you know what I mean? And I'm saying, you know, they walked into fucking Madama Jiu-Jitsu, decent camp. They walked into Black Hole Jiu-Jitsu, decent camp. We'd all look at the videotape and go, okay, listen, this is how to beat him. There's nothing where we'd go, wait a second, you might want to skip this one.
Yeah.
He's very beatable. He hasn't shown any evolution. He's relying on physical tools that I think are just no longer there. You know, so if you go to swing the hammer and the head of the hammer falls off, are you going to be a good craftsman? You tell me, you're the more technical guy here, right? No, fuck no. It's not going to work. So with that being said, I think Lionheart, A, takes it, and B, hopefully stops biting off of Jean-Claude Van Damme movies for his nicknames, because, you know, unless he karate kicks him, he doesn't deserve that name. Anyway, we have Gregor Gillespie, who I love the alliteration, Gregor the Gift Gillespie. You, sir, have your grasp on the English language, versus Jason Gonzalez. Good grief. What are we getting into deep into the card, bro? What do we got here? Who do we got? What do we got? Why? Drop some out. Tell me one of them's not fighting, because I think we could go on that more than whoever.
I don't know.
The only Gregor I give a shit about is Gracie, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, this is one of those where I might be Switzerland on, honestly.
You might refuse to pick just because, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Just keep it moving. All right. You know what? I couldn't tell you. I wish I could.
Hang on. I'll make a prediction right now. All right.
Oh, you're flipping a coin, you sap. Hold on.
This side is Gonzalez.
No.
This side is Gregor.
Oh, no.
Gregor.
Gregor the Gift.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. You know what? I'm telling you, if they walk by me in the subway, I wouldn't, you know, aside from like the really straight up pedophile vibe I'm getting from Jason Gonzalez on UFC, on the fight, on the little fight preview, he's looking like Bat Boy a little bit. Everybody hit UFC.com, look up this card, and tell me that you wouldn't think, yep.
So they took the picture off the National Enquirer and put it
in there. 1,000. That's exact. Even the lighting, bro. You know what I mean? I'm talking like they took Henan Barrow's photo, put a little hair on it, and then they slapped this monstrosity on that card. But that being said, honestly, you know what? I couldn't tell you who, nor would I tell you if I'm not going to be going to make myself some guacamole and chips when this fight's going on. You know what I'm saying?
You
That's
racist bastard.
Hey, man, it's good for brain health.
Don't feel bad, dude. I have all the stuff to make myself nachos here. Got the jalapenos. I got the pico de gallo.
It's essential, bro. It's essential, especially with these fights. Now, in the fight of the brolic shoulders and the oversized cups, I'm looking at you, Kamaru Usman, and I'm trying not to look down because you're trying some Shoni Carter shit right now. But Kamaru Usman, the Nigerian Nightmare, versus Sergio Moraes. What do you got here, bro?
I think I'm going to go with the Nigerian.
I think so. I think that's a really decent pick. And are you going based on cup size? Like, let me first.
No, I just don't think Moraes is really that good.
No, he's, you know, his tattoos are shit too, and he's kind of standing awkwardly like that weird guy that hasn't been picked a lot in sports. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's trying to look fucking tough and weird. Like, broke his collarbone, didn't set right. Like, bro, what are you trying to do here? All right, trying to make your neck look bigger. Your traps aren't that huge. Yo, calm down and just be a fighter. You know, I think there's a reason why one's ranked, one's not. Number one and number two. Though, why the fuck is this after the other fight, or before the other fight? I should say. All this is just kind of like a toss up in my eyes. But what I've seen from Usman, he comes out guns blazing, and he's actually able to sustain it. You know, sometimes that approach for a fighter, you're like, wait a second, he's gonna gas. But fuck it. I think I got the Nigerian. And you know what? Maybe you can link up with Justin Wren after he wins and go dig some wells. So, you know, fucking more power.
Help out the pygmies.
That's what I'm saying, man. You know what? Everybody wins here. So we both got Usman.
I give that guy a ton of credit because he just keeps getting malaria. And he
bro, like I'm telling you, that story
getting malaria. That's got to be rough. Those must be some major shits.
Anybody that doesn't know this man's story, take a second. Now, obviously, after you're done listening to us, because we want the views. But Justin Wren, the big pygmy, he's out there in Bellator. Now he's linked up with what? Rafael Lovato Jr., right, over in Oklahoma City, training like an animal. He's saying that Lovato's top pressure is crazy, and Lovato is outweighed by said Justin Wren by at least like 30 to 40 pounds. And he's still saying that this jiu-jitsu is heavy. So he goes, he provides water, and just basically builds a civilization and an infrastructure for an endangered species of human being, which is the pygmies. And he's gotten malaria, what,
well,
2-3 times?
He goes and lives with them. Like, he adopts them.
Yeah,
like, you talk about a humanitarian.
Yeah.
You know,
he
fuck
digs
Angelina
the wells.
Jolie.
He
fuck
teaches.
Angelina Jolie. All she does is just smuggle children into her house. This guy fucking, you know what I mean? Like, she drove Dick out of the bed to keep bringing in fucking kids from these impoverished countries.
Think about that, all right? Brad Pitt was just like, enough. I don't know who these kids are anymore. I wake up and there's more. Every day it's like children Christmas, right? We got a new one under the tree. Yeah, I'm done. It gave him a raging alcohol problem. Like he was having some tough times. I mean, he didn't seem, you know, that crazy before he got together with this broad. And she's just Madonna doing the same thing, bringing kids over. Right?
But then you have Justin Wren, who's going to their home, living with them, digging wells to give them sustainable, fresh water sources, so they don't have to go down to the fucking to where the goddamn bison piss, shit, fart, and fuck.
Yeah, and or runoff from an industrial runoff hitting you, so you're not getting like, you know, you're not drinking flammable water.
Yeah.
Right, like the fracking up here in Pennsylvania. So this fucking this dude, he's an animal. Justin Wren, the big pygmy. Look him up. If you got a couple bucks, throw it for Water 4. I know we're doing the hurricane stuff here, but his story is tremendous. I hope he takes that vacant heavyweight title. I hope they don't forget about him in this import of all crazy stuff, because you know what?
He was great on The Ultimate Fighter, too.
And, dude, you couldn't name a heavyweight in that mix that I would take above Justin Wren right now. Like, if you had him fight right now. I think he's, with him with a good training camp behind him, fucking suplexing motherfuckers, bro.
And not having malaria before the fight?
Yo, I think like having malaria somehow made him stronger. Like when he bounced back, he was stronger than he was. Like he's like, oh shit, I'm alive. I've
never seen anybody like voluntarily give themselves fucking malaria.
Bro, this guy and going back and spending months there. He doesn't just go for a week. He doesn't just go. He lives there for like 3-4 months. He worked it out with Scott Coker.
Sometimes longer.
Yeah, he worked it out with Scott Coker. He's like, listen, I'm gonna be there for 6 months. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna fight. I'm going to get on the mic. I'm going to be like, yo, I'm going to do this little pygmy, you know, shout or whatever. And then I'm going to go back. And, you know, his podcast with Joe Rogan make me feel like a piece of shit as a human being, because I'm like, yo, I'm not doing enough. Like, holy smokes, this guy is out there. He's really, really out there trying to build civilization, trying to build cities for these forgotten folks, you know? Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ. I can't say enough about that, dude. And give him some fucking Bellator gold. What are you doing, Bellator? All right, Coker needs to stop bullshitting and give a deserving champ. Because who's the champ in that division right now? Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah,
dude, I don't even think Liam has a fight set up.
as much as I like to say, hey, hooray for Bellator in almost every sense.
Yeah, no, they're fucking up now.
Yeah, they are, because I feel like they're acquiring too much talent, and they're like, well, what do we do? They have like the opposite problem as the UFC. The UFC has too many cards to fill, and too much talent. And Bellator is like, wait a second, we have a set number of cards that we can
They
put
need
on.
to go back on once a week, Bellator.
Yeah,
I don't know why they stopped doing that. It was working. It was awesome. I always looked forward to a Friday. Was it Friday or Saturday night?
It was Friday.
I think
it was
Friday night. I always
Friday
look forward to Friday night because
Friday
I knew
night
there was
fights.
I knew there was going to be something good on there. And it was funny because they did it in seasons.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They did it in seasons, like season 1, season 2, but it was fights every week.
And then it would, and like a season, it would culminate into like, this guy is now the next contender for the belt. You know, or this guy's going to fight for the belt at the beginning of the next season. We're going to set something up. Now they could just do seasons, and then they could set up for pay-per-views.
Like, I know, like when we had Brad on, he said he wasn't a fan of the tournament unless it's one night. But the Bellator tournament was working. It was fair.
It was something everybody could follow.
Yes.
The same reason college football needed a tournament, and I think it obviously needs more than 4 entries, right? But holy shit. Like, let's get everything together and say, this guy's going to fight this guy. This guy's going to fight this guy. These guys are going to fight together, and then we're going to break it down, and then we're going to make it happen, right? And I think, you know, but so speaking of heavyweights, we got that last fight on the main card. This is a stacked main card. They've got 6 fights, supposedly, that they're going to be putting on here. We have Justin Ledet at Blanco, for all you Spanish-speaking folks out there, versus, I'm going to butcher this name, Zhu Anyanwu, the 8th
Dude,
wonder.
Zhu, that was the CFFC champion. He was the only person to beat Sean Teed.
He's an animal.
You know, he fought on the Contender Series.
Yeah.
He fought and won. He fought and won on the Contender. Dana didn't pick him, but they called him for this fight on short notice.
So notice fight.
So now the CFFC has a vacant championship. Hello, CFFC. Give Sean Teed the goddamn shot for the vacant title. Give Sean Teed
a shot, exactly. I think that just makes, you know, that just makes an absolute fucking perfect sense. You know what I mean? You got to
Joe Cashin. Joe Cashin. You need to sponsor this guy.
That I think should be happening. We can get in touch with Mr. Joseph. He's back in the game now. He had, you know, obviously that terrible loss in the family. Rest in peace. Shout out to Joe Cashin. But you know, he's gotten a new line of stuff out that go green. I'm pretty excited. It looks slick. I've seen some mock-ups. I've seen some prelims. You know, he's obviously giving it to the extended team first. That shit looks sick. Stuff's quality. It's regulation sized.
Yeah, so we're gonna get on that ASAP for you.
I like
Sean.
that. I like that, Sean. And Sean should come on when it's finalized, and then he should come on when he's going to be fighting for
or do the deal on the show.
That'd be, hey man. You know, I know you're that old school wrestling mentality where you want people to sign contracts. You want people to sign contracts on air. Like, hold on.
That's right.
I like it. I'm not gonna, dude. It's in my favor. I'm not even busting your balls. But who do you got here? Zhu.
I'm gonna take Zhu.
Zhu.
I'm gonna take Zhu. Yep.
I got you. El Blanco doesn't do it for me either.
No, Zhu could throw hands. You know, he's an animal.
Dude, this guy.
Yeah, he's an animal.
He looks like a big guy, but fast, strong. He looks serious. I mean, I don't like what they got going on. They got him in like black and white, and everybody else is in color. I don't know what the UFC is doing. They're fucking up here. I'm like, Royal. It's like they just brought him in, you know, and he hasn't finished loading.
Well, they probably took it off of. They probably took it off ShareDog, and that's probably the picture from like 9 years ago.
But you can't do some shading for fun. Like, they hired Boss Logic, for fuck's sake. Like, come on, man. You know, UFC's been fucking up a little bit with the graphics department. But any fights that you want to be chatting about on the prelims here? Anybody that jumps out at you that you want to say, hey, listen, let's take a look? I mean, we got Martin
I'll let you go for that if you want to.
I mean, there's some names I recognize. You know, this Olivier Aubin-Mercier, the Quebec kid, I mean, I recognize the name. I know he's from Canada. He looks like Justin Trudeau's stunt double. So, he's probably top 10 all Canada, all QD Canada team. But again, we're having, Uriah Hall is stuffed down here versus Krzysztof Jotko. I don't know how this fight is all the way down here on the prelims.
Because Uriah Hall is a head case. You never know what Uriah Hall you're going to get.
True, but you got 2 ranked fighters.
Yeah, I know that, but you never know what kind of Uriah Hall fight you're going to get. Are you going to get the Uriah Hall who can wheel kick somebody's face off? Or are you going to get the Uriah Hall who walks through the cage door closes, and he doesn't want to be in there?
That's
you don't
true.
know.
You don't know. For a fighter, he has a really big problem with hurting people, which I think is what it's like. Remember that Nelly interlude? It's like a shy stripper. That shit ain't never gonna work. You remember that little tagline at the end of one of Nelly's super hits?
Well, no, he told, oh God, who was it? Matt Serra. Like sometimes when the cage door closes, it's like he gets afraid. Like he almost doesn't want to be there. Like you can't have that mentality. That's how you get hurt.
And it's how you get hurt, and it's also how you let down your fucking teammates and everybody who's pulling for you. You know what I mean? Once you sign, like you want to say, sign on our show, but once you sign that dotted line, you just have to be kind of, that book of 5 rings. You make your decision in the span of 7 breaths. You go forward and you have a fucking fight. You can have the existential crisis before you decide to fight or after. But during,
I think he had the more mental game when he was with Tiger Schulman's, honestly.
And you know what? What's crazy is before I met up with the guys that train out of that extended camp, right?
I had the same thought that I know that you're gonna say.
Right?
Same.
I thought it was McDojo and Fugazi. I really did. Training with them, having them whoop my ass. Some of them, like, I know that's not the case. Brad Desir is as real as it gets to steal the UFC's tagline. All right,
Lyman Good.
Lyman Good is a fucking animal. All right, holy shit, he can't wear regular size hats. Neither can I. Shout out the Big Dome team, but he's a fucking savage. There's a bunch of guys that come out of that camp that I think, it's people sleep on Tiger Schulman's for that reason, right? They think, hey, listen, it's no, it's not.
The minute something gets commercialized like that, but remember, they're a separate entity from the Tiger Schulman's all over the place.
You know what? And I'm not going to hate on you. If I could own a piece of that franchise, I'd be Tiger Schulman's all day.
Oh God!
Right? I'd be counting my money. I'd be having this would be money. I'd be the Mayweather phone. I'd just be sitting here listening, like, hold on. What? You want to talk shit? Yeah, exactly. That's right there. So, but I don't know why this fight is stuffed down there. Like, yeah, you could be very correct. Krzysztof Jotko is a dangerous, but he's a dangerous. One of the dangerous Polacks on that squad.
You know what it is? It also is to get more viewers to watch the prelims, so that the same people will stick around to watch the main card.
True, and you know what's interesting though? What I like here is, and maybe they're taking, they saw the ratings that are dying from the FXX debacle last time that they switched around. Same channel. Prelims are on FS1, main cards on FS1. They're trying to just, really keep the continuity.
Well, let's put it this way. Last week, the prelims got bumped from FS1 to FS2. That's how much people just didn't give a flying fuck.
Yeah, dude. Shit was tough. But aside from that, surprisingly, and again, you might be onto something here. They got Gilbert Burns. I know he's on a bit of a skid. He's not doing what everybody thought he could be doing versus Jason Sago on the Fight Pass prelim. I mean, I want to see Burns do well. I think his jiu-jitsu game is superb, but I don't know if it's MMA, if it's going to be longevity for MMA. But they got him stuff down there early, and apparently they don't want to pay him well because they got him on Fight Pass. So hopefully get a sub.
They also want to drive more viewers to Fight Pass.
What, they want to get like all the Brazilians that are going to be Gilbert Burns fans?
Yeah, no, I don't know, bro. I mean, I don't know how. I mean, I'm sure Fight Pass is doing fine. You know what I mean? I'm sure they have a lot of people that downloaded the app, and because of all the the extra content that's on there. I mean, if you're a jiu-jitsu lover, you got the EBIs that are on there. If you like watching women's MMA, you got Invicta on there. They have all the other organizations like the Russian organizations and stuff like that on Fight Pass. But when it comes to these live fights, it's got to be hard. You know, I mean, Aljamain Sterling was fighting on Fight Pass. The fight before his fight with the fucking the human Furby, he was fighting on Christ. Fight Pass.
What, he fought Ezekiel Elliott? When? How did I miss this fight? How did I miss Ezekiel Elliott fighting on Fight Pass? Bro, shit, maybe that's why he got suspended, because he was working outside of the contract. Anyway, the big shout out to Tim Spoon. But let's close this out with obviously the other fight that's taking place. Triple G versus Canelo. Boxing, month after the biggest boxing match of all time. Who do you got? What do you got? Let's chat about it. And let's close this out strong.
I like Canelo. He's grown leaps and bounds after, the fight that he had with Mayweather when he was young. And I mean, he's a fucking monster.
He's huge.
But I just think Triple G is on another level.
I can see that.
I think Triple G is. I think he's gonna knock him out.
This fight ends in a knockout. That I will.
Either way, but I think Triple G is gonna put him in a corner, and he's just gonna start throwing body head combos, and I don't think Canelo's gonna be able to handle it. I'm gonna say knockout by the 6th round.
That's relatively early. That's why. Okay. So like right in the middle, he's gonna figure him out. He's gonna wear him down. The body head. Only thing and let me tell you this quick Triple G story. I was working at a place we were working overnights. Remember, I was I switched to that and it was chaos. And it was during that last Triple G fight with who the hell did he fight? It was with the that rangy black dude that he was fighting, right? And it was. I was telling everybody, all my friends were like, "Oh, you're the fight guy, right?" I'm like, "Of course." I love Triple G. I'm like, "Oh, this guy's gonna assassinate people. Triple G's amazing." Hard fought 12-round victory for Triple G in a message, or in a fight that some people could still say, "Hey, listen, this sends a message that Triple G might not be where he was." That's the only fight that's really, throwing me back and going, hey, stopping me from
everybody could have a bad night though, bro.
And I was told by boxing minds better than mine that it was a matchup issue in terms of just style and, the looks he was giving Triple G and, the way he didn't fight him scared. That was a big one too. But that being said, I know I'm not Mexican, but I got to go with that Latino flavor. I think, even though you look at him and you're like, that dude is about as Latino as apple pie, but he's.
Yeah, I've never seen too many Mexican gingers before.
Bro, I'm telling you, apparently St. Patrick made it out to Mexico when he was driving snakes out, and the last snake was the one in the bird's mouth on the fucking flag. But so I just think if anybody's gonna catch him, somebody like Canelo can. It'd be exciting to see it happen. Do I think that either one of them could then scare Mayweather out of retirement, which is what I'm hearing some folks talk about? Fuck you. He's not. Mayweather ain't coming back.
Mayweather already fought Canelo, so he wouldn't come back to fight him.
No, and then you're sure if Triple G does what you say he's going to do, Mayweather stays super fucking retired. Yeah, never has anything to do with whatever the fuck Triple G has cooking for him. So, I think it ends in knockout. I have Canelo putting it in. I have Canelo putting it in, but I have Canelo putting it in later. I wouldn't say that he's gonna, maybe catch him flash or whatnot. I just think maybe isn't Canelo a little bigger?
A little bit.
Yeah. So
I think Triple G's rangier.
I got you with I could see, but something's telling me maybe I'm just trying to be a Latino homer.
No, I just think Triple G's gonna catch his timing early. You know,
I got you.
I think early on, Canelo's going to probably be sitting on the end of his jab, and it's just going to start setting up his jab cross combos. And then once he starts going to the body, and Canelo has to start thinking, I think he's just going to end up getting caught.
Is it crazy? I'm more excited for this fight than I was last month. Like for the fight.
No, because this is a real fight.
Yeah.
There's nothing shrouded in this. Like,
no.
And this fight was sold out before the McGregor-Mayweather fight was.
You know.
Now, will this fight get 6.4 million pay-per-view buys? No.
Not in any universe. Not for nothing. And you know who's partly to blame a little bit for this? De La Hoya. De La Hoya's been talking.
Yeah, he's not helping the cause. But you know what does help is the Fight TV app that Bobby Wambacher is going to be on.
Yes.
You can purchase the pay-per-view from the Fight TV app.
And you can bring it anywhere, right? You can
purchase the pay-per-views, the UFC pay-per-views from Fight TV app as well.
It makes absolute perfect sense. Like if you're caught in a bind, you know, you're saved for some reason, you know, you're out with the missus and the play that you promised for date night and she doesn't get you back home in time, you can, you know, kind of put one of these in your ear and kind of look down and have it playing while you're listening to Pavarotti's niece do whatever the fuck she needs to be doing. You can be watching some fights. You just got to tone down your reactions.
Can you at least say the man's name right? Pavarotti. Can't you just say it right? Pavarotti. Can't you say it right?
Pavarotti's niece. Nah, man.
Pav. What the hell is Pavarotti?
I'm talking about his niece, his illegitimate love child niece.
You sound like you're a Canadian Bostonian.
This Pavarotti. Girl, don't you dare. This girl with really crazy eyebrows that Joe Diaz was talking about a couple weeks ago.
She's got crazy eyebrows, dog.
Dog. We called her Pavarotti's niece. She kept on asking why the hell we calling her Pavarotti. And said, oh, it was the name of some broad that we thought was really hot back in the day.
Her eyebrows go straight across. She's a big old fat monkey.
Thicker than some of those lines of coke that I was doing back in the day, bro. Shit. Single blast off. But
Joey Diaz.
Funniest guy out there right now. So I think with that being said, do we have any guests lined up for Monday? I think we're just gonna be doing a fight recap, right?
Probably. I'm working on it. It might be a fight recap. I'm working on it. You know how I usually end up getting these guests like last minute.
I know you send them a Quaalude and you say, "Listen, there's more on the way if you sign up." Except
well, no, I tell them that they're coming on the Joe Rogan podcast, and then I swerve them at the end.
You curve them our way, and you're like, "Yo, listen, this is like the after Howard Stern show on Sirius. We'll get you here." And then we'll move you backwards to the big show. So, we have, also during the week now, Tuesdays, Football Fury is going to be an every Tuesday thing. So, this week we got, you and I are both in the same fantasy league. So we're pretty up on football as well. He's all Tim Spooney and Josh Shimkus. Those guys are always crazy on Tuesdays.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool that they switched to Tuesday and gave us Wednesday,
Give them mad props as always, and the 2-minute warning family. So that being said, I think we've drawn to a close. We've covered everything we needed to cover. The Reverend Tommy D even made a resounding appearance. So oh Jesus Christ, there we go. The King James version, no less. The King James version. Jesus, Lord in heaven.
Thank you for having me on your show tonight, brother Omar.
Oh, thank you for.
I just got done kicking the rest of the dirt onto the grave of Johnny Bones Jones's career.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Did we put flowers on it? Yeah, you did.
I put a tulip right in the middle. Was one Jesse Taylor.
Oh my! Yeah, seriously. Rest in peace. Right, we're handing out those little plastic cards for both their careers at the funeral home, dude. It's the same. I swear to God. So for the busy Chris Gucci, he was tied up today doing work things. Shout out to Chris. We always miss you and love you. For the Reverend Tommy D, for the real Tommy D, it's Omar, the joint manipulator. Am I still going by that? I'll take it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to change that.
We have to do something. El Profesor, maybe. I mean, El something Spanish.
I like that.
Yeah,
El Profesor. I
like that. I think I'm getting the thumbs up. So,
well, you know what I heard? I heard joint manipulator. I'm thinking, you're taking apart joints. And,
me too.
Trying to, You know, it's like,
I know. I immediately, I'm gonna, probably reveal too much on this vidcast. I immediately thought of marijuana. I immediately was like, wait a second, like, hold on, am I holding it this way? Am I moving it? So we gotta come up with that. We might have a poll this week going, what can we? I don't know if I want to open that up to the public, but we'll see what we do. So join us Mondays. Back to 8:30, back to 9 o'clock.
8:30.
8:30. Back to 8:30 on Monday. So for 2-minute warning, for Madama Jiu-Jitsu, for Black Hole Jiu-Jitsu, for 80K Fight, where Joe Cash, and let's talk about Mr. Sean Teed. This is the Pride Rules vidcast signing off.